सुप्रभातम, सुस्वागतम। ज्ञान योगा, राजयोगा, भक्ति योगा and karma yoga. You can work with the intellect or with the willpower or with the emotions or action itself. What is the goal of these streams of yoga? It is to reach perfection. Perfection in human life is endowed with infinite freedom, power, bliss and knowledge. That's called moksha in Vedanta. Patanjali probably called it as Kaivalya. Buddha called it as Nirvana. Bhagavad Gita calls it as Brahma Nirvana. Probably science calls it as pure consciousness, absolute reality. Whatever words you want to use, it's fine. The purpose of all streams of yoga, all techniques of yoga, is to reach the highest perfection. जो भी हम योग उपयोग कर सकते हैं, ज्ञान योग, राजयोग, भक्ति योग, कर्म योग, उसका लक्ष्य एक ही होता है। वो लक्ष्य क्या है? अपना घर पहुंचना। हमको अपना घर का भूल हो गया है, भूल गए हैं अपने घर, फिर घर वापस लौटना। ये घर का विशेष क्या है? घर संपूर्ण ज्ञान स्थिति है, त्रिकाल ज्ञान जिसको बोलते हैं, और परिपूर्ण आनंद है, दुख राहित्य स्थिति है। इधर कुछ भी बीमारी नहीं है, दुख नहीं है, तनाव नहीं है। ये हमारा मूल स्वरूप है। और इधर सब सृष्टि करने का शक्ति इधर होता है। यह मनुष्य को किसका है? हम सबको बोलता, इसको बताते हैं परम आत्मा। यह हमारा घर है, इतना महान है हमारा घर। उसको भूल के हम अपने शरीर को ही अपने मानते हैं, एक छोटा घर ही हम घर मानते हैं। इसलिए सब कुछ तनाव, बीमारी, सब कुछ हो रहा है। तो सब योग प्रणालियों का लक्ष्य एक ही है, वो है मोक्ष। कर्म का ये विशेष है कर्म योग का कि हर एक काम को, जो भी कर्म करते हैं, जो भी काम करते हैं, उसको योग में परिवर्तन करना। एक ऐसा हो सकता है, बहुत अचरज लगता है, खाना पीना, चलना फिरना, दौड़ना, मलमूत्र विसर्जन करना सभी योग हो सकता है क्या? बिल्कुल नहीं हो सकता, ऐसा लगता है। परंतु कृष्ण भगवान बोलते हैं हाँ हो सकता है। ये कैसा हो सकता है? कैसा कर्म को योग में परिवर्तन करना, यही रहस्य है कर्म योग का। There's something very astonishing about karma yoga. Every action that you do should be converted into a yoga. How is it ever possible? Walking, eating, drinking, excreting, urination, everything can be converted into yoga? No, impossible. What are you talking? It says. But Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, yes, it is possible. Even every wink of the eye can be converted into yoga. Where does he say that? Pashyan, Shunvan, Sprishan, Dighran, Ashnan, Gachan, Swapam, Shwasan, Pralapan, Visrujan, Brunhan, Unmishan, Nimishan, Davi, Indriyan, Indriyartheshu, Vartanta Yati Dharayan. Pashyan, seeing, Shunvan, hearing, Jighran, Vidhan, swelling, Unvishan emission of it, even winking of the eyes, all activities we are doing. If you do it in a very particular way, in a very special way, it becomes a yoga. He says, what is that special way? That is the whole secret of Karma Yoga. And this tree, I call it as the Karma Yoga tree, it gives the whole glimpse as to how to convert every action into a yoga. That's the beauty. In all other yogas, you need some special time allotted for that. But here it doesn't need a special time for it. Only you have to change your way of doing it. How you do the action, with what motive you do the action, has to be changed. So how do we do our actions? It all depends on your basic personality. Krishna said there are 3 dimensions of the personality. They are called as tamas, rajas and sattva. So he says, you must understand how you are doing. For that you have to understand what is your personality. And that's the first step. How to recognize what type of personality I am? Krishna gives the symptoms. If these symptoms are there, you belong to tamas. If these symptoms are there, you are rajasic. If these symptoms are there, it is sattva. He says. He describes in the shlokas. Laziness, lethargy, drowsiness, sleepiness, resistance to action, resistance to think. That all comes in the first, the grossest personality trait called tamas. Tamas means darkness, ignorance. So any action, if you tell, the person wants to run away. No. That is the first, the grossest personality traits that we have. Rajas means to shine. This is another personality that we have. The person with Rajas is full of vitality, energy, dynamism, and tremendous power of concentration. A go-getter. You give him a job, you are sure that he will be doing that. And he is very brilliant, very intelligent. He will plan, he will execute, he will monitor, quality control, everything he will do. And what is the purpose of doing that? A Rajasic person has always an aim to get name, fame or money, or to show his ego. Yattu kamepsana karma sahankarena vapunaha, it is said. In every action he do, you can see a purpose. If he spends money for giving a party, he knows that he is going to get vote from you for the election. If he spends a lot of money in the marriage of his daughter, he knows his business is going to increase tremendously. Everywhere you can see that motive to become a millionaire, a billionaire, a trillionaire. Everywhere his name should flash. The ego, to show ego, is another feature. So that is the Rajasic. What is the third? The Sattva. He has all the good qualities of Rajas, but he is selfless. He does everything for others. Give to others, serve others, love others, bring education to the poor. Everything for others, more and more to others, more and more to others than what he receives. What he receives from the society goes on reducing. What he gives to the society goes on increasing as he progresses. This is Sattva. Therefore, we are all made of these 3 personality traits. Depending on what personality is predominant, your actions also will show up that. Nobody is purely Sattvic, Rajasic or Tamasic. One or other these gunas predominate in you. Krishna says this is what you have to understand. We have to understand ourselves. If you understand the inner personality, then you know how we are doing the action, with what motive we are doing the action. That has to be changed. So to change your personality, why you have to change your personality? If you are very tamasic, you are going to go down the drains. You will deteriorate day by day. If you are very rajasic, it brings tremendous amount of tension, stresses and diseases. Modern life is beset with rajasic activity. And that brings all the lifestyle disorders that we have today. What about the sattva? Yes, towards sattva you have to move. From tamas to rajas, rajas to sattva we have to move. This is the transformation needed. So consciously you must change the way of doing the action to bring about a change in the inner personality. It should be done with awareness, with intelligence, with consciousness, with all the best capacity that we have to change. That is the first step, first phase of Karma Yoga. कर्म योग में पहले क्या करना है, अपने आप को समझना पड़ेगा. काम करने का ढंग को बदलना, उसके लिए आप कैसे काम कर रहे हैं उसको समझना आपको. कैसे काम कर रहे हैं, किस लक्ष्य से आप काम कर रहे हैं, काम करने के पीछे क्या है आपका, इसको समझना पड़ेगा. इसके लिए अंदर के जो व्यक्तित्व है उसको ढूंढना, पहचानना है. 3 तरीका गुण है बताया जाता है. व्यक्तित्व विशेष तमस हो सकता है, रजस हो सकता है, सत्व हो सकता है. तमस का क्या विशेष है? अंधकार है, अविद्या है और आलसीपन है. सोना, काम करने में बहुत ही मुश्किल है, सोचना भी मुश्किल है. अभी 4था क्लास में पूरा हो गया, 5वां क्लास में कौन जाना है, इसके बारे में कुछ काम करेंगे. वो पढ़ाई में नहीं आगे जाना चाहता है और जो भी काम करने के लिए बताएंगे वो उससे दूर होना, हटना चाहता है. यह है तमस. बहुत स्थूल रूप है हमारा व्यक्तित्व. 3 गुणों में सबसे नीचे का स्थूल गुण है तमस. और रजस क्या है? चमकना. रजस का मतलब है चमकना. बहुत ही एकाग्रता पूर्वक करता है, बहुत ही शक्तिमान है, बहुत ही बुद्धिमान है और जो भी काम उसको दे दीजिए बिल्कुल वो कर ही देगा. इतना अंदर से उसका बुद्धि को उपयोग करते हैं, बहुत सशक्त है. परंतु उसके पीछे क्या है? उसका लक्ष्य है कि पैसा बनाना और नाम बनाना. यही उसका लक्ष्य होता है. जो भी काम करेगा उसके पीछे ही है. और इसके आगे सत्व है. जो कुछ काम करेगा वो सब दूसरों के लिए, भलाई के लिए और राष्ट्र के भलाई के लिए, अपने देश के भलाई के लिए और सब लोगों को देना देना देना. स्वयं नियंत्रण शुरू हो जाता है. ये तीनों को हमको पहले समझना पड़ेगा. कृष्ण भगवान बोल रहे हैं. ऐसे समझने के बाद क्या करना? अपने आप को परिवर्तन करना, अपने तमस को हटाना, रजस को नियंत्रण करना, सत्व को बढ़ाना. यही रामायण का लक्ष्य है. रामायण का संदेश क्या है? तो कुंभकर्ण को जगाना, रावण को नियंत्रण में लाना, वो नहीं होगा तो उसको मार डालना और श्री राम को अंदर से विजय पताका में भेजना. ये हमारे अंदर कुंभकर्ण, रावण और श्री राम है. इसको हम जगाना, श्री राम को जगाना है. यही है इसका लक्ष्य. Okay, now we are becoming slowly predominantly sattva. Then it is the end of the game. You are doing all good activities. You are doing good for the society. You are giving and giving. But still, many people who are doing good activities, who are spending all their life for the good of the society, good of the people, they are all suffering from various problems. They get heart attack, they get diabetes, they get paralysis, they get asthma, they get back pain, they get spondylosis, they get gastrointestinal disorders. Why? They are all doing good activities, spending their whole life. There are many pracharaks. There are many full-time workers. There are many totally dedicated workers for the country. They don't take any money for themselves, just to maintain themselves. But why should they suffer? This was the intriguing question for me for years and years. Only when I learned the secret of Karma Yoga, I understood. Krishna gives those secrets. You may be doing good activity, but conflicts arise. Various types of conflicts can come about. A conflict between one good action and another good action. One duty and another duty. Duty for the nation, duty for the family. When Mahatma Gandhi called for the freedom movement in this country, millions of youth joined the movement. But there are some youth who got into this conflict because in their house they were the only sons and parents were very sick. Whether to take care of the parents or whether to jump into national freedom movement. Conflict between two duties. Similarly, conflict between one ethical norm and another duty sense. This is what happened to Arjuna. The whole Bhagavad Gita opens up with a dramatic scenario of Arjuna coming with all the determination to wage the war and win the war. But when he came there, he got into a big conflict. He could not even stand, and his Gandiva just comes down and then he just sits down. That is the power of that conflict. One side is mind is telling, come on, you are a Kshatriya, you are a warrior, you have to wage the war, you have to kill the enemy, you have to win the war. That's your duty, Kartavya. On the other side, there is compassion, there is love. After all, they are my teachers, Dronacharya, Krupacharya, Bhishma is the greatest, whom we have to worship. How can I kill these people? No, Krishna, I can't kill them, I can't kill them. Rather, I will leave all these things and go to Himalayas. And that may be a better option than to kill all these people. So, there is a big turmoil between duty on one side and love and affection and ethical norm on the other side. Which is better of the two? That brought out the entire Bhagavad Gita. Similarly, questioning the very basis of life. What is the purpose of this life? We all are born and we get educated and you get a job and you get married, you produce children and one day we are going to die. Is it not to life? What is the real purpose of life? Is there a purpose? This is the question that came up to Sri Rama at a young age of only 16 years. And he went into a big isolation. And nobody could talk to him. He was not interested in nothing. He was not interested even in eating. Parents were very worried. What is to be done? What is to be done? They did not know. Then comes the Vishwamitra, wanting Dasharatha to send Rama and Lakshmana to help him out to win the yajna, to perform the yajna. At that time, Dasharatha says, how can I send Rama? Look at his condition. He is in such great depression, he is isolated and nobody can talk to him in the sense that he is not interested in anything. He has to become the crown prince. I am very worried. Vishwamitra, do something. Then Vishwamitra says, okay, please bring him in here. Sri Rama comes to the courtyard and Vishwamitra is there with a smiling face, looks at Rama. Rama, what has happened to you? You are such a fantastic, young, brilliant teenager. And why you are in that melancholy, stuck mood? Sri Rama says, I have got a big question. What is the meaning of this life? What is this for? So when he started explaining that this entire life is full of misery, it's all time controlled. Today I am there, tomorrow I have an accident, I die. I had a wonderful friend, we are going together in the street and there is an accident and he dies. What is the meaning of this life? As I grow old, life becomes miserable, geriatric problems, one after another, and then I have to suffer and suffer and suffer. And what is the meaning of this life? Is it just that we are born, you get educated, you get married and they produce children and you perform your duties and die one day? Is it all? I can't understand. I am totally confused and I have absolutely no interest. When he describes this in his first chapter of the Yoga Vasishta called Vairagya Prakarana. In Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna Vishada Yoga is the first chapter. That brings out the entire knowledge base in the Yoga Vasishta given by Vasishta. Vishwamitra says, Don't worry, Sri Rama. It is not a disease. It is not a very depressive psychosis. It is not a schizophrenia. It is not a depression. It is not a chronic neurosis. It is a divine renunciation. This comes in the life of everyone. You have become the sattva. Then the region of conflicts tries to raise you higher with such fundamental and basic questions. Don't worry. Even Shuka had the same questions. And at the age of 8 he got these questions. But many people do not get this question even at the time of their death. Because they are not elevated. Shuka gets at the age of 8. He goes to his father and asks, what should I do? What should I do? Therefore, this is a time when you have to understand this deeper and higher dimensions of human life. That is what I am going to unravel. That is what Shuka got from his father. Then Rama gets a hope. Oh, is it so? I thought there is no answer. There is no life altogether. Then please tell me, please tell me. His mind gets open. Then Vishwamitra says, I am not going to tell you. You have got the greatest of the Maharshis. Your Kulaguru, Vasishtha is there. Vasishtha is going to unravel. Then starts a series of discourses by Vasishtha for days and months together. And that's a fantastic exposition in the form of Yoga Vasishtha. That wisdom base that we have. What are those secrets? Krishna unravels in Bhagavad Gita. Vasishtha unravels in the Yoga Vasishtha. That is the Karma Yoga. So Karma Yoga is not just doing something in the form of a very small duty or anything. It's a very intelligent, very subtle, very complex thing which you have to understand and start working on that. And Krishna gives 4 secrets to unravel this entire dimension. Secret 1, 2, 3, 4. That's what we are going to see tomorrow. Let's contemplate on these thoughts. Sit straight. Eyes closed. Take a deep breath and slowly breathe out. Relax all parts of the body. Beautiful smile on the face. आंख बंद करके शरीर के सब स्नायुओं को शिथिल करना, मन शांत होना, सांस को धीरे धीरे छोड़िए। मुस्कान के साथ शरीर को पूरा से पूरा ढीला करना, रिलैक्स करना। With a beautiful smile on the face, calm down the mind. Please scan your life and recognize how much of tamas, rajas and sattva you have. Examine which guna is predominant in us. Tamas, rajas or sattva. Having recognized the 3 gunas, let us make a resolve that we will shatter the tamas, we will control the rajas and promote sattva. The first phase to convert every karma into a yoga. अपने अंदर के तमस को हटाना, रजस को नियंत्रण करना, सत्य को वृद्धि करना, ऐसा संकल्प करना है। A strong resolve to change ourselves. How to make it practical? 5 good actions. Give something that you have. Every day, 5 actions. Even a leaf, a cup of water, a flower, anything will do. And a nice smile, few good words, whatever you can give them with the fullness of heart, with all the love. That will ennoble you, take you to promote Sattva in a big way. In the night, write in a diary what are all the good things that you did. Let us march ahead to become people of giving and giving, sharing with others, with no expectation in return. And that will create ideal Bharat. Namaskara Mudra.